Hello, welcome. I'm Annalise, and thanks for joining me today for Yin Yoga with aromatherapy. So once you've got yourself all set up with your mat and any of your props, maybe a bolster, blanket, um, what else have we got? If you need a strap, grab one of those, or any substitutes. And then also your essential oils. So I always bring in my doTERRA oils, and today I've brought in celery seed. So if by chance you have celery seed at home, go grab it. Otherwise, just any oil that you feel like using tonight. So they're all of great benefit and really complement your yoga practice. And often that intuition kind of leads you to exactly the right oil for what's going on for you. Anyway, so celery seed is a great oil for detoxing, and so this is kind of the inspiration for bringing this in today. I've just recently done a detox, and spring, brings that energy of releasing winter energies and getting sort of back into better rhythms with nature and whatnot. So celery seed is a great one to use. You can use it on your body. I put it in my smoothies. It's got quite a strong taste, even just one drop. It really is quite potent. Very great for sort of healthy health maintenance. And energetically, it's the oil of detoxing. So once you're back on your mat with your oil, put some on your hands and rub your hands together. And in a comfortable seat with your eyes closed, you can place your hands over your nose and just start to settle in. Get comfy. Find your place of stillness and ease. And take a few deep breaths, slowly inhaling. And also slowly exhaling. Use this time to drop into your body, into your breath, into presence. Start to slow down. Take in any sort of observations, any memories or associations that might have come up in your internal world behind your closed eyes. Any senses that might have been illuminated. Any reflections on the emotions and how they may have changed or adjusted. Now's a great time to place your hands with the oils, or even if you're not using an oil, just give your body a little releasing massage and squeeze. You can do this behind the neck and the shoulders. And I don't just use these oils for the smell, the aroma. So if there are some oils that do have a strong aroma that you don't feel like wearing, on your close to your nose or whatever, throw it on your feet. You're still getting the medicine of the oil, but without having the smell so much as the focus for the oil. And so this celery seed is a cleansing remedy here. And it's not just physically cleansing, energetically as well. We've got a lot of stuff happening right now. And sometimes our detoxification pathways can get a little blocked. So these oils can just help to move energies through. All right. Let's come to settle into a butterfly position, seated with the feet touching each other. If you want to stretch your legs out first and massage your knees, go ahead. But we'll meet with the feet touching in front of you, knees winging outwards. You could place blocks underneath your knees or sit up on a block or a bolster if you'd like a little bit more height for the hips. And you can position your feet forward or closer to your body, depending on how you want to feel the stretch in your legs. We're going to do a fold forward, so if you'd like to grab a bolster to support your fold, do so. And as long as your lower back feels comfortable and you feel like you're ready to round the back in your forward fold, go ahead. You'll know if you've got any tenderness, and to avoid the rounding action, just to sort of keep more of a hip hinge action with a straighter spine if that lower back is screaming out in any way. And we'll just continue to breathe slowly in and out. In our yin postures, we hold them for, a few minutes at a time. And so knowing this, we want to get our bodies into a position that's comfortable as quick as possible so we can get to stillness and enjoy that time in stillness. And with the support of the slow and deep breathing, the body can receive the benefits of the longer holds deep within the body. And over time, there'll be a softening in the connective tissue, the fascia, the joints. Let the face get nice and soft. The jaw nice and relaxed. And if the mind gets active, then just know that's normal. Of course, that's fine. And we can really learn from observing what thoughts do come up in these times of stillness and silence. Just observe, sometimes or often we recycle the same thoughts. I've heard that 90% of our thoughts are repeated. And so if we can observe without feeling attached to the energy of the thought and just notice what comes up in our mind, that can be a really good first step for sort of creating more space, letting go of some repetitive patterns that might exist in a non-attached way, so we can really tap into the stillness to find that gem of awareness, and just allow any thoughts to sort of sweep away. Doesn't have to be a big experience, just a soft experience. Those thoughts drift away without energy attached, any story attached. And then just come back to being aware of the breathing, just to stay present. Slow and deep breaths. Take 5 more deep breaths here. So you can just enjoy every one, slow and deep, steady and calm. When you're ready to come up, slowly press away, unravel back into your seat. You can lean back on your hands behind you and take the feet, the soles down wide in front of you, and just take a few breathing cycles, moving the legs like windshield wipers. Exhaling the legs down to one side, inhaling them up, and then exhaling them down to the other side. See how slow you can go. We'll come to a straddle position with the legs wide. Just find the width that feels right for you. Don't feel like you have to go too wide that feels uncomfortable. We're going to do some more forward folding. This time I'll sit up on a block if that's going to be helpful. You might like to do that too. And keep the bolster close by perhaps as well. All right, so we'll take a few folds with the legs wide like this. Let's first just breathe in. Imagine the spine receiving breath from the root up through the crown. And then down, back from the crown down to the root. And as you next inhale, feel the spine lengthen and exhale, twist over to the left, facing those left toes. You can give them a little stretch out, pointing them up in the same direction as your knee. And then slowly start to fold over that left leg or over a bolster. So here we're finding a little twist, as well as getting in a stretch in the hamstring, the left leg. The twisting is excellent for detoxifying as well. So great pose to practice if you are going through a detox and just want to sort of squeeze out any old sort of digestive blockages, stagnancies, clearing the pathway. And sometimes after a while your hip might start to open up, a little bit more space is created. And so feel free to adjust the body and then come to a new stillness that you can breathe into and settle into. checking in always with the breath and letting that be a guide to if that's the right place for you, for your body, your mind, your heart. Slowly use an inhalation to walk your hands towards you and back up. And then we'll take a big twist. If you stretch, if you want to bend those knees again, take a few windshield wiper motions, go ahead. And then we'll come to take that pose to the right side. So with a tall spine, turning to face the right toes and slowly making your way down toward your leg. If it's a bit far, you can rest your chin in your hand. And take this time just to scan the body, notice if there's any points that are holding on to tension that can be released. I should mention too, if your hamstrings are super tight, then bending the knees and folding over the knees bent is an option for you. There's always an option. So that might serve you better. And take a few more breaths. And slowly bring your body back up. And feel free to move the body in any way that you need. And then prepare to fold forward. Rounding the back, letting the head relax toward the ground or your bolster. Stay connected to the rhythm of your breath. Notice how calm and steady it can be. Allow the jaw to remain relaxed. Any other places as well, shoulders, forehead, they can all be soft. Take a few more long exhales here, sinking the weight of your upper body toward the floor. Press your body up again. Let's take a few of those windshield wiper motions with the legs. Soles on the ground wide. You can lean back and just exhale, knees one way. Inhale up. Exhale over the other way. A few times. All right, then we'll come on to our knees. Actually, right down to child's pose just for a minute. Take your knees wide and big toes together. Sink the hips down to the heels. Walk your hands forward and let the forehead come to rest on the ground or a block. And just take a few deep breaths here. And then we'll come forward onto our bellies. You can leave your hands or forearms on the ground and bring the belly, the pelvis onto the mat. So the elbows can start under the shoulders, and if this feels like it's too much of a back bend in the upper back, just take the elbows forward slightly. You can either have the hands forward or interlaced through the fingers. And this does provide quite a good stretch to the sacral lumbar arch. So you tune to this space here, and if it feels like, it's too much, take the elbows forward or bring the feet in a little closer. If you want a little bit more, you could take the tops of the feet out a little wider. All right, and then with the chest open and the shoulders sort of sinking down a line above those elbows, you can just let the head bobble like light in space, almost like a balloon. And some of you may feel like dropping the head back is going to serve you well, so that's fine if you want to open the thyroid too. Take a few breaths up the spine, root to crown, and then down the spine, crown to root. Just connecting with that beautiful curve in the spine. Take another few breaths here. Broad breaths across the chest. And then we'll come back into child's pose. Feel free to bring the knees together this time and sweep the hands down to your feet. Just letting the shoulders have a little rest. And then let's come to sit up. Sitting on your heels if it's comfortable. If it's not for the knees, you can come up onto the knees, stacking hips above the hips. Otherwise, with the heels underneath the bottom here, or slightly outwards, the saddle position, you might know that this is too far. You understand your knees and anything that you need here. Stay just up on the heels if that's best for you, or slightly take those heels out to create an internal rotation with both hips. Leaning back on the hands and opening the heart. And only if the neck allows and feels good, you can let the head drop back. But don't feel like you need to, and you can also hold the head with one hand if you like. And so some of you might really dig this position. Some of you might know that you can come onto your elbows. You can do that. Or even all the way down. Shoulders on the ground. And just taking a few slow, deep breaths in whichever position you landed in. And take 3 more breaths. Slow, deep breaths. Come up slowly the way you came in, very carefully. And we'll take one more child's pose, choosing whether you want your hands forward, your arms extended, or back behind you. And just taking 5 deep breaths, feeling the breath fill up on the front and the back side of the spine. The softening motion of gravity, bringing everything on the exhale. Okay, and let's come to lie on our backs now. Slowly transitioning. You might want to keep a block close by in arm's reach for a little bit later. Let's stretch the legs out and take a full body stretch, reaching the fingertips away from you, reaching your toe tips down away from you, and just taking a full body stretch, feeling the spaces open up around all the vertebrae. And that breath moving through, and relax. Let's keep the left leg extended and bring the right knee in, interlacing the fingers around that right shin. And just drawing the knee closer to the armpit. So you might really like to stay here. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you can take the right foot up. The right knee is going to come closer to the ground as you reach inside that knee for the outside of the right foot. And then just bring that right knee down closer. If it's more comfortable to land your left sole of the foot on the ground, you can do that. Beautiful. So half happy baby is what we're in here, or any variation that suits you. Okay, let's feel a nice compression there. And that right hip flexor. Taking another breath deeply in. Exhaling, create space in the belly. Feel that hip flexor, compress. Gently release your right foot or your leg and stretch your leg out. And just take a moment and notice how your right leg feels compared to the left, and the hip too. My right leg feels longer for some reason. Let's do that with the left side. So you can start by interlacing your fingers around the left shin and knee towards the, or take half happy baby. Just take a moment to observe how your legs and your hips feel. Do they feel more balanced after doing both sides? All right, let's take the feet onto the mat, lining them up with the hips, and press up through the hips, through the pelvis. Just take a little mini back stretch, mini bridge, and then take the hips and land them slightly to the right and take your knees to the left. Now this is where you might want to block underneath your left leg or in between your knees, and just the arms splay outwards. Both shoulders are on the ground or supported completely, and the head might naturally fall to the right or to the left is fine too. And we'll come back to that beautiful rhythmic breath. Coming back to this detoxifying pose, the twist. Sending some love to the digestive system of the body. Some gratitude. Let the shoulders settle downward, landing heavier on the ground. And slowly wing the right knee up, then the left. Press up through the feet. And drop the hips slightly to the left, and the knees drop to the right. Let the head roll in any direction that feels comfortable for the neck. let gravity take care of the knees on the right side. And the shoulders can sink down. The exhale can support that heaviness, connectedness. Focus on the breathing. If the mind wanders, your anchor back to presence is always there for you, your breath moving in and out. Let's take another deep inhalation and long exhalation. And slowly wing the knees back up. Feel free to press the hips up for a little mini back bend. And then land the hips and bring both knees into the place your fingers. Or you can come into happy baby with hands to the feet. And just let your body fall from side. Out. If you'd like a bolster underneath your knees or a blanket over your body or an eye pillow or a scarf covering your eyes, just take this time to get super comfy and steady in stillness eventually on your mat. When you're lying on your mat with your eyes closed, just take a moment to land the body, feel those points of connection with the earth, the back of the skull. Check that the head lines up with the spine and it's not sort of cocked to one direction or the other. And let that skull settle into the ground. The shoulders, they can even sort of tuck in slightly, opening the front of the chest. And also with that rotation, allowing the backs of the hands to come to the ground, and that the shoulder rotation opens up. It's great for opening up the chest. And feel the breath circulate in the chest, in the lungs, left and right. And both together. Notice your hips. Let them be even on the ground. Feel the stability there as you also come to observe the lightness of the breath, as you can observe the rise and the fall in the belly. The legs and the arms can be heavy. Soften the space in between your eyebrows. And all the muscles in your face relax as much as possible. With the whole body, take a deep breath in, nice and deep. And as you exhale, soften everything, the skin, the muscles, the bones, everything toward the earth, resting completely in stillness. Enjoy the stability of your body and the wilderness of your breath while you simply rest. You may have time to rest longer, and do so if you like. Otherwise, just come to, again, notice the weight of your body on the ground. And tuning into the lightness of the breath in your belly, in your lungs, in your throat, and in your nose. And feel the temperature of the breath at the nostrils, moving in, and the difference of the temperature as the breath moves out. As your awareness of the breath grows more, comes to the forefront, deep in the breathing and deep in the experience of the breath in the body, all the way to the fingers and the toes. Start to slowly stretch out. Take a big stretch, reaching arms overhead, have a yawn. Stretch your toes away from you, and then gather those knees together at your chest and move a little side to side. And then eventually rock over to the fetal position in the right side, and you can take a few moments just to notice how you feel. And then press the body up. With eyes closed and hands together in front of heart center, just take a moment to come to this center of love and compassion. And bow your head and honor you, your unique individuality, your mind, your body, your spirit. And then lightly lift the head. Just take a loving moment for someone or something outside of you. Sending you all so much love and peace. Namaste.